Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're here for my 2023 anime of the year slash year tier list, I guess. Truthfully speaking, I did not watch as much anime this year as I probably normally do. At least if we're talking like seasonal shows, I usually watch like 6 to 7 from every season, but that has not happened this year, as obviously doing reaction videos takes a lot more time, so I've watched a lot less shows than I maybe normally would in a normal season. But I've got a tier list here. First, we're gonna go through the tier list, and then we're going to discuss my animes of the year candidates and things such as that. Right now, I've only got S through D. I don't think there was any F tier shows I watched this year in particular. Like, I usually only picked out pretty decent shows, so it might not even get to the D tier with some of these. Like, I don't think, looking at the list of shows I have here and the list of shows that I watched this year, I don't really think there's a show that I'm gonna put in the D tier. At least not from these that I can decide. But yeah, this is all the animes I watched in 2023. We're gonna tear through this, and then I'll talk about my anime of the year. Of course, if you disagree with me, please disagree nicely. I'm not some anime expert, I'm just some guy who likes anime probably a little bit too much that he started a reaction channel doing it. I think that's about everything to intro this, so let's get straight into the tier list itself here. Got the beautiful tier list here. As you can see, it's taking up most of the screen as I'm like just kind of discarded off to the side here, but first show, we're starting off with a heater. We're starting off with the Eminence in Shadow Season 2. Now, technically, as I'm making this video, I've not finished Season 2, but I'm basically finished. I only have like 2 episodes left, and the John Smith arc was amazing, so it's going in A tier. If I had finished it, it might be an S tier, so that's on me for not finishing the show yet. I haven't gotten around to finishing it. As far as like everything else that goes up until that point, the vampire arc, the John Smith arc, both were phenomenal arcs. Like, genuinely some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen with Sid and his shenanigans, so it's gonna get an A tier. If I were to finish the season, I'd probably bump it up to an S tier, but for now, A tier's fine. It's just the starting line. It might get moved up, it's definitely not getting moved down, but it might get moved up later on depending on where I tier some of the other shows as we continue in on this list. Next up, Free Run. I don't even think that needs to be discussed, really. Absolutely fantastic show, and it's not even over yet. We still have 12 more episodes, I think. Like, we're barely scratching the surface with what this series has to offer, and it's goddamn amazing. Free Run is fantastic. Now we got the Black Clover movie, much less of a show, more of a movie. Black Clover, I don't think I've talked about it enough because I actually, funny thing, I recorded the Black Clover movie like the day it came out. The day it came out, I recorded it. I edited like the first hour, and I never edited the second hour. So it is sitting on my hard drive, and I have not edited it. So if you guys would want to see my reaction to that, I'm totally down to finish editing that and post that, because I still just have that sitting around. So I'd be down to finish editing that and get that posted. But for me, it's an immediate A tier. Plot-wise, it wasn't anything crazy, but it's an anime original movie, so it wasn't trying to be anything crazy plot-wise. Animation was unbelievably beautiful. Some of the most hype fights I've ever seen, and Black Clover is already one of my all-time favorite shonens, so immediate A tier. Let's see. Mushoku Tensei Season 2, that's an interesting one, because in the grand scheme of things, Season 2 was a downgrade from Season 1. As someone who's read the light novels, I said this in every one of my Mushoku Tensei reactions, I have read the light novels. That's not gonna change. As someone who's read the light novels, next season, Season 3 and Part 2 of Season 2 are going to be infinitely better. Season 2, Part 1 was a setup for the rest of the series. Just trust me on that. The next stuff is going to be even better. So, I'm going to put this at a B tier. I loved it. I think it was great. Great character development, great lore drops. I think the school arc was done very well. The light novel's better. That's all I'll say. The anime for Season 1 kept up with the light novel extremely well. Season 2, Part 1, the light novel's better. That's why I'm putting it at B tier. I think normally I'd put it in an A tier, but the light novel, like I said, usually that's the case with any animes. The source material is better, but especially for Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 1, the light novel is significantly better, so that's why I'm putting it at a B tier. It's still good. I really enjoyed it. You can go check out my reactions. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But comparatively speaking to some of these other ones on this list, it's probably a B tier. Alright, now we're on to Horimiya: The Missing Pieces. I never, it's hard to explain because I'm done with it, but the reactions are not done. Much like the Black Clover movie, I have all the reactions for, well, now I'm questioning if I finished it or not, but I'm almost certain I did. I think I just have the reactions, once again, like the Black Clover movie, kind of just sitting on my hard drive. Great show. I think it was a great way to bring back a lot of the characters from Horimiya and give the side characters much more time to shine. I think it was very good, very enjoyable. All things said, though, comparatively speaking to a couple other romances we have on this list, it's gonna be a B tier. I love Horimiya, don't get me wrong. A B tier is not calling the show bad, it's not calling it mid. It's saying out of the rest of these, my enjoyment for the other ones was higher. That's all that's saying. That's not saying it's a bad show in any regard whatsoever, because I love both of these series right here. I love both of them. Alright, an interesting one here. Dead Mount Death Play. All of Season 1 is something I reacted to. It's one of the first shows that I was able to start in one season and finish in another because the second cour aired so quickly. This one, it's getting an A tier. I have several reasons for this. One being, here's the reason it's not S tier for me. My reactions would probably showcase that it would be an S tier, and it would, if the animation was even slightly better. The animation really holds back Dead Mount Death Play. The plot is S tier caliber. Like, the plot is S tier caliber, although I wouldn't put it on the same level as Freerun. I think, you know what, gonna make another tier real quick. The tier list has been updated. There's now an S plus tier. If any show goes in S plus, you can just immediately assume it is in the running for my anime of the year. Just that's how we're gonna do it, because I have a lot of shows here that I would also probably put in S tier, but none of them are on the level of Freerun. Like I said, any show that's going in the S plus category is in the running for anime of the year. That's about it. I just wanted to add another tier because in my mind it makes the most sense that here. Let me edit one more thing. There we go. That's better. That looks so stupid. So, I'm taking my change back. What I was gonna do was put a little disclaimer that anything in this category is like anime of the year worthy, but I already explained it, so you guys should recognize that at this point. So, Dangers in My Heart. Need I say any more? I don't think I need to say any more. Easily my favorite romance of the year. Not even close. S plus tier. Like I said, anything up here is possible. Anime of the year candidate for me. Now you might be thinking, how the f is Dangers in My Heart anywhere close to Freerun? And to that I say, my enjoyment level. That's what I'm rating these on. I'm not rating these on their storytelling factor. I'm not rating these on their animation. I'm rating these... That was immediately hypocritical of me. I'm not rating these... If we're going purely on enjoyment, then that's wrong, because Dead Mount Death Play would go S tier. Man, I don't even know how I'm doing my own tier list here. I gotta figure out the rules for my own tier list. So, how do I put this? Because it's unfair to say that I'm doing some shows based off enjoyment and some off like their animation and some off their plot. Because all of these here are off of like their plot and animation, and then I just stuck this one up here because I like it a lot. Okay, for the romance category genre, Dangers in My Heart is an S+. Oh, that's how I'll put it. If we're talking plot and animation in the romance category of genre shows, it is an S+. That's how I'll categorize it. As far as like storytelling for a show like Freerun compared to Dead Mount Death Play, those are two shows you can compare a little more closely because they both involve fantasy world, stuff like that. I hope you get what I mean by that. So, it's kind of hard to make a tier list with a bunch of different shows of a bunch of different genres because these two technically aren't on equal footing, but as far as romance shows go, Dangers in My Heart is an S+ in my mind, and as far as fantasy shows go, Freerun is an S+ in my mind. Is that making a little more sense now? I hope it is. Okay, Undead Unluck. Not finished, but I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I'll stick it in A tier. No, B tier. But that seems... see? I can't decide on my own decisions here. There we go. We're just gonna do that. Dead Mount Death Play is an S tier. The plot heavily carries it, and my enjoyment for that show was literally through the roof the entire time. So, if it had the animation level that like Freerun does, it would be an easy S+, not even close. But, because putting Undead Unluck in B tier seems a little too low. Undead Unluck is fantastic. fantastic. I've been enjoying every second of it, and I think it's easily an A tier. But Dead Mount Deathplay, I think so far is better. I think Undead Unluck has a lot of interesting plot elements, but it's not finished. There's still like, what, 11 more episodes to go? It's not done. So that's why it's knocking it down a tier. Honestly, I could, if we're going because it's not done, I think it has a couple cool plot elements, but a lot of those plot elements have not had their chance to fully develop yet. So in that same notion, I could probably knock it down to a B tier. But just because it's not fully done yet. I think when it's fully done, it will be an easy A tier, but until it's done, right now, we're looking at a B tier. Not bad, of course, like I've said for the rest of these shows, I love Undead Unluck. I don't, like I said at the very beginning, there's not a single show on here that I hate. There's not. I love every single show that I've watched this year, and so putting them at, like, different tiers is really difficult. That's why you're not seeing any in the C and D section, because looking at all these, actually there is probably a single one that I put in C, but we'll get to that when we get to that show. For now, we're on to the next one, which is JJK Season 2. Man, a lot of the big hitters coming up front here. That's kind of my fault for putting them in that quickly, but JJK Season 2. There doesn't even need to be a discussion about this. It's not even close. JJK is absolutely in the running for my anime of the year, and it gets an S+. Oh, do we need to discuss more? It was absolutely crazy good to a level, like, it is the best shonen of the year. Like, it just is. I love Undead Unluck, but Undead Unluck can't even compete. It can't even compete with JJK. JJK right now is the king of shonens. Okay. Now that I've got that spiel out of the way, JJK, S+, in the running for Anime of the Year. We good? I think we're good. I think that decision makes perfect sense. 100 Girlfriends, S tier. By far one of my favorite shows of the year. Not Anime of the Year caliber, but god damn it, is it up there with some of my favorites. Oh, my knee started itching. It was actually the funniest show of the year. I think comedy-wise, it was the funniest show of the year, and it's not even close. Its self-awareness and its jokes about its self-awareness are something that made it the funniest of the year. It's just, if you guys go watch my reactions, you'll know why I enjoyed it so much. And we've got another core coming up as well. A season, I don't know if it's core 2 or season 2. I believe they called it season 2, so a season 2 was announced, so we'll be getting that pretty soon here too, which is fantastic. Next we got Oshinoko. I think without a shadow of a doubt, that is also an Anime of the Year candidate and an S+ show. I think that was one of the first shows I ever reacted to on this channel, and god damn it, I loved it. It was fantastic. It actually has my 2 most popular videos ever, which is kind of crazy to think about. that show is really what got my channel to where it is now. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Oshinoko. So that in and of itself pushes it to an Anime of the Year candidate for me in the way that it's affected my life surrounding this channel and things such as that. So S+ for Oshinoko. Let's see. Tokyo Revengers. Oh yeah, also Oshinoko Season 2 is airing this year, right? I think we're getting Oshinoko Season 2 this year, so you'll absolutely be seeing reactions from me on that series. So now we got Tokyo Revengers Season 3. I read the manga ahead of this, so this was never posted to YouTube. These reactions are up on Patreon for this show. This show's fantastic. It gets a lot of hate, and I can understand why, but reading the manga is so much better. It's so much better. I hate to the show because I really actually enjoyed the show, but the manga is so much better. It's not even a close competition. So anime-wise, the anime is really good, so I would have to put it at like it's gonna be the first... Hello? What? What is this invisible show here? What? There's like an invisible show. What? 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 Oh man, I need to get better at making tier lists. I suck at these. Okay, well, it's just that invisible show is gonna sit in D tier. I think for the fact of the matter that it's not even close to as good as the manga, it's gonna get a C. I also haven't finished it. This is a show that because I read the manga, I'm not like up in at arms to watch the anime immediately. I think it's good. The anime is good, but the manga is 1,000 times better, and it's not even close. It's not even a close competition for how much better the manga is, even if I really do enjoy the anime. So, C tier, 1 because I haven't finished it, and 2 because the manga is just way better. Zom 100, we finally got the final 3 episodes to that just before the year ended. They dropped on Christmas Day. So those reactions are up now if you want to go check those out. The entire series reactions are up actually. I really hope we get a season 2 of the show. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's probably going to go in A tier. I don't know if I'd put it on the same tier as 100 Girlfriends, even though it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna put, no, because yeah, I'll put it in S tier. I think it hit some very good theme beats throughout it that really resonated with me. And I just like Akira and his gang. I think it's a very funny show, very lighthearted show that takes its serious moments, but doesn't spend too much time on them. And I think it's got a great plot. And it balances all the aspects of the show very well. So I think Zom 100 is definitely an S tier show, despite the delays. Like, if it wasn't, I can't say it'd be my anime of the year. With all these other god tier animes up there in S+, it probably wouldn't be in the running for anime of the year, but it's definitely an S tier. See, now I'm wanting to push Dead Mount Deathplay up to S tier, because I enjoyed Dead Mount Deathplay just as much as I enjoyed these two. But the pure reason I'm not putting Dead Mount Deathplay up there, the plot was fantastic, the animation was really bad. That's just pretty much the bottom line. I didn't comment on it much because the plot was really good, but the animation for Dead Mount Deathplay was very lackluster. Like, these two shows here, Eminence and Shadow was only at an A tier because I didn't finish it. I'm almost certain it would be an S tier if I had finished it. Black Clover, the plot was borderline non-existent for the movie. There wasn't much of a plot at all. Just the animation was absolutely insane. The fights were absolutely insane. And of course it was great seeing Asta, Yuno, and the gang again, because like I said, Black Clover is one of my favorite shonen of all time. But it's not an S tier, because just for the pure fact that there was basically no plot, it was just all action, which I think is really good in its own aspect, but A tier for that. And then animation-wise, that's what's cutting Dead Mount Deathplay down a tier. And then obviously I've gone over my explanation for these four. I think I'll leave these four in their tiers. Of course, none of these tiers means I hate any of the shows. I'm gonna repeat it a third or fourth time, however many times I've said it at this point. I enjoy every show on here. Every show that I've watched this year, I have enjoyed to some degree. Don't get it twisted. There's not putting Tokyo Revengers down here doesn't mean I hate it. Like I said, the manga is just way better. Okay, Love is War, the movie, which is also, I actually think Love is War was like my 4th video ever. Like, I'm not even joking. I think the two Love is War reactions were my 4th and like 6th video ever. You can go check those out if you want. But Love is War, S tier. Need I say anything else? Love is War is absolutely fantastic. Another series I have read the manga for. I finished season 3, and then I read the manga after that. I've read the entire manga. It is by far one of my favorite romances. The fact of the matter is that that became a big point of contention in my reactions to The Dangers in My Heart. I made the point in one of the episodes that Love is War, there's 2 romances at the top of my all-time favorites, and it's Love is War, Dangers in My Heart. Like, and that... I had a lot of discussions with you guys about that, because a lot of people believe that Dangers in My Heart is better than Love is War, and I can see the point, but coming from someone who has read the Love is War manga, Dangers in My Heart is not there yet. It's just not. After 1 season, it's not. There's no way. I really, 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 really loved the Dangers in My Heart, but Love is War is one of the most peak things I have ever read. It is one of my all-time favorites, not just for romance, but of all time. It's gonna be really hard to top it. Like, really, really difficult to top it. But it's good. Like, as far as anime goes, Dangers in My Heart is above Love is War. I liked the movie. I think they could have handled the anime, like, the anime did a good job, but I think it was better in the manga. I think the manga was better, so that's why it's getting just an S tier. And the popularity for it kind of died off randomly, which was weird. But I'm excited for the new season, because fact of the matter is, we are only halfway through the Love is War manga. Only halfway through. There is still 3 more seasons to come of that series. So once we get to those final seasons, it will probably end up being up there in my candidates for anime of the year. But for now, it's an S tier. Alright, Konosuba, the Megumin spin-off series. This is gonna go C. I think it was fine. The animation was iffy. The jokes didn't hit as hard as they do in the actual Konosuba. This is one I didn't react to, by the way. This is not on my channel. I ended up not reacting to it just because I hadn't reacted to any of the other 3 Konosuba things. Konosuba 1 and 2, and then the movie, which actually, I have rewatched Konosuba 3 times now. It is easily one of my favorite series of all time, and I'm beyond excited for the new season that's coming out here, I think in 2024. That I will absolutely be reacting to, even if I didn't react to the first actually 3 seasons now and the movie. So that's gonna stick there in C tier. I think it was fine. It wasn't anything special. Some of the jokes didn't land like they do in the actual series, but it was still good. Now we're on to Demon Slayer Season 3. Man, this sucks because I really liked Demon Slayer Season 3, but it's gonna go S tier because it's Demon Slayer. If we're talking Demon Slayer Season 2, it would be in this list right here. Demon Slayer Season 3 takes a step down, but not a far step down from Season 2. I think Season 3 was still fantastic in many regards, and is still one of the best animes this year, but in contention with these, it just can't compete this year. I'm more excited for the later season stuff. A lot of you guys have said the upcoming seasons of Demon Slayer, like Season 4, Season 5, that's where it hits the fan, and that is where some of the best Demon Slayer content is to be found. So when that rolls around, it will probably end up being in this tier, but for now, S tier. I think it was great, but not in comparison with these that I have up here. Alright, we're hitting the final leg, some of the last shows, some that I didn't react to, and a couple that were my first reactions ever, actually. Hell's Paradise, the first show I ever did a reaction video to. If you go look, the first reaction video ever on this channel is to the Hell's Paradise OP, which I think was really good. I think overall as a show, Hell's Paradise is probably a B tier. MAPPA didn't give it anywhere near as much attention as they gave shows like JJK or AOT or stuff like that. And actually, that reminds me, I could probably put AOT on this list, but that's also something I did react to. I haven't watched the final for AOT, like the final chapters, whatever they're calling it, the very finale. I haven't reacted to that, but I did react to the first part of that a long time ago. Kind of similar to Black Clover and kind of similar to Harimia. It's kind of just sitting in my hard drive that I haven't edited fully, so those are there somewhere. But I don't want to put AOT on here because I didn't watch the final chapter, so that's why it's on this list. If it was and I had watched it, it would probably be up here or right here, one of these two, because AOT is one of my all-time favorite shows that I'm very sad I didn't get to react to. Like the entire show, I didn't get to react to the entire show. So now we're on to that whole conversation was about Hell's Paradise, but I teetered off into AOT conversation. Hell's Paradise is great. I think it's a very good show. It didn't get the attention I think it deserves, though, so it's gonna be a B tier. Not Hell's Paradise. Heavenly Delusion is absolutely an S tier. Phenomenal show. Literally, genuinely a phenomenal show. One of the best mysteries I've seen in a long time. If ever, I'm beyond excited for when Season 2 rolls around, if a Season 2 is ever made. Tengoku Daimakyo, absolutely fantastic show. The second show I ever reacted to on this channel, and one that actually realistically kind of got it was the first show that ever, like, got good views on my channel, if that makes any sense. But this was the first show that I got a lot of comments on, and I started interacting with you guys about the mysteries in the show and things like that. So it holds a special place in my heart. And it's just a fantastic show, as is one of the best mysteries of the year. I would push it up to S+ tier, but as far as these 4 shows go, I think Heavenly Delusion is still in its early stages. I think once we get to Season 2 area and a lot of the more mysteries start being uncovered and we hit kind of the climax of the plot, I think then it will be an S+. For now, though, it is an S tier. So we're on to Danmachi, which is a show I did not react to because this aired in like January of this year. So this is way before I started my reaction channel. This is absolutely an S tier. I would put this in S+, but I don't think it contends with these per usual, which is, I'm very happy I made an S+ tier because these 4 are in a realm of their own as far as like my favorites go. But I still have a lot that I would put in S tier, so as you can see clearly there's a lot of shows in the S tier here. Danmachi, easy S tier. The 4th season, I was gonna say the final season, it's not the final season. The 4th season, absolutely fantastic. Ryu and Belle making their way out of the final levels, just absolutely fantastic. I won't get into spoiler territory with that one. In case you want to watch Danmachi, you should do it. Season 1 is pretty good, Season 2 is Season 3 is really good, and Season 4 is the best of the best that we've had so far for Danmachi. If it was in any of the other seasons of Danmachi, it would probably be in one of these tiers, but Season 4 was really damn good. It's actually Season 4 Part 2. Season 4 Part 1 was also fantastic, but Season 4 Part 2 knocked every other part of the show out of the water. and it's not even a close competition. Like, season 4 part 2 was utterly phenomenal. It was great. Fantastic. So, we're on to the final show. The final show of the tier list of the shows that I have watched in 2023. We got Tomo-chan as a girl. Kind of a random one, but none of the other shows. I surprisingly didn't watch many shows in the winter 2023 season. I think there was a lot of ongoing shows, such as like Blue Lock and stuff that I watched that I guess you could put Blue Lock in this year's anime of the year. Like, it wouldn't be in contention for anime of the year, but it would be an A or S tier. But it started in 2022, so I'm not going to count that. But Tomo-chan as a girl is probably going to go in at an A tier. I think it was really, really good. It knocked my expectations out of the park. I started it because a good friend of mine had said it was pretty good, so I started it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was great. As far as romances go, it was really damn good. This is probably going to cause an uproar, this right here, but I truthfully enjoyed Tomo-chan. If we're talking the original Horimiya, like season 1 Horimiya, it would probably be an S tier or A tier, but the missing pieces was good. I liked getting the other side characters more chance to shine, but season 1, in my opinion, was better for Horimiya. I hope you guys can understand why the missing pieces is a little bit lower. If it was season 1 of Horimiya, it'd be A or S tier, but if we're talking missing pieces, it's a B tier. None of these are bad. At the end of the day, we have finished the tier list. None of these are bad whatsoever. None of these are bad. Like, just know that when I say like it's a C tier, neither of those two shows in C tier were bad. I enjoyed both of them, just not as much as the others, and I obviously explained my reasoning for that whenever I put them on the tier list. So now, it's time to decide what is my anime of the year. This is a difficult one. I think it would be, without a shadow of a doubt, Frieren if it was done. I think the only reason I'm not going to pick Frieren as my anime of the year is because it's not done. I need to see the second half. I think, it's going to sound basic, but I think my anime of the year is going to be JJK Season 2. It blew my expectations out of the water. Genuinely out of the water. And it's a tough decision, because Oshinoko was absolutely one of my favorites of the year. Dangers in My Heart was absolutely one of my favorites of the year. And I think I would pick Frieren if Frieren was finished. It's still got 12 episodes to go, so I'm not going to pick it as my anime of the year. I think my anime of the year is going to be JJK Season 2, some of the craziest fights, some of the best storytelling, whatever you want to call it. JJK Season 2 was an anomaly for shonen in all aspects. I think it blew away expectations, took down some typical shonen tropes, and just, it was phenomenal. My only one grievance would be the one thing I've talked about in like every episode towards the end. So you're free to go check out those reactions if you want to see what exactly that grievance is. But it's anime of the year. I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people. I know there's a lot of other shows that are also in anime of the year contention for a lot of people. I didn't watch those, so this is my list. This is the shows that I watched this year. So if you have a different anime of the year that you disagree, that would be your anime of the year. I'm just gonna say it, I probably didn't watch it. That's just the truth. I probably didn't end up watching it. That is my anime of the year. I think JJK Season 2 is gonna be my anime of the year. But yeah, this was really difficult. Like, just truthfully, this is not an easy choice by any means. It really wasn't. Frieren is absolutely, like, if we're talking anime of the year, this is JJK, this is Frieren. If Frieren finished, Frieren would probably be up here. But Frieren is still ongoing, which is the main reason I'm not picking it as my anime of the year. But other than that, man, Dangers in My Heart, Oshinoko, both of them are two of my absolute favorites of the year. Like, these top 4 shows are my 4 favorites of the year. Like, that's just the truth. The top 4 shows at the very top of this list are my top 4 favorite shows of 2023. It just had to come down to one for my anime of the year, and that just happens to be JJK for the reasons I described previously. But I think that is going to wrap it up for my 2023 anime tier list / anime of the year selection. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you all have a good day.